Hey guys, welcome. It's your girl, Black Girl Minimalism. I'm doing a read for tonight. Tonight is February 13th. It is the night before Valentine's Day, and we had an opportunity. We're in New York to celebrate. It is 1 year since Aaron had surgery for being diagnosed with cancer and reconstructive. So she, of course, has now rung the bell since April of 2025. So it's an opportunity for us to celebrate life and to celebrate love, being that this year looks a lot different than it did last year. Also, celebrating love in all ways, between um, your partner, in friendship, and just love overall, and what you can give back to others, and the way in which you choose to celebrate that. Today we had an opportunity to go to Aunts and Uncles that's in Brooklyn. It's a Black and Caribbean owned restaurant that is husband and wife owned as well, and we had an opportunity to meet the owners, Nicole and Mike. They introduced themselves while we were dining, and it was a great opportunity and also a great experience. The vibe was there, the music, the playlist was there, and I got to share more and more of my culture with Aaron, and that means a lot to me. My parents are from St. Vincent, and so just being in a space where the music is flowing and it just makes you feel at home. And then what we got to try was the vegan mac and cheese, the meatballs, the lobster roll, all fully vegan, and then also the chicken sandwich, which was like kind of like a pulled pork kind of jerk barbecue marinade, which was really good. And this restaurant is located in Little Caribbean in Brooklyn. So we traveled a bit of ways. We got in and we changed our clothes, and then we went straight there. And so once we were dining, I thought it was really organic because we didn't say anything. We were running a little behind, and he came in and was like, "Hey, you guys are supposed to, you guys schedule your reservation at this time." And so I thought it was I thought it was interesting that he came over to our table, and it was very genuine. Both him and his wife, and they really took good care of us. So I love that whole experience that we had, and we will be back. We even thought, like, do we need to go tomorrow? So yeah, it's a quick tidbit. So we're gonna do the read with the Clueless guidebook deck. If you guys haven't already checked out the read from earlier this morning, I did do one once I left the house this morning, and then now we're doing a nighttime read going into tomorrow. So the first thing that come up is the Nine of Wands, which is the Pismo Beach relief, babe. I see this as a card of leadership, maybe volunteering, maybe setting the tone in some aspect. You have the Knight of Wands. I'm sorry, Knight of Swords coming forward. This is Logan's character, right? Where it kind of says, like, you get the job done. If it's talking about the sense of leadership, if it's talking about Logan's character, he really took what he did serious, because he worked in the legal aspect. I think he was either a law clerk, or why can't I think of it?
It's a paralegal?
Paralegal, yeah. Sorry, guys. It's been a while since I've been in that setting. So I actually used to hold that title. So I should know, like, discovery and just review of case material. That's what he did. So he was very detail oriented, and if he missed the bar on anything, he would take it very serious. So maybe a call to, like, the finer tuned details on things. You are very passionate about it. The next thing to come up is the Five of Swords. And we got this morning, so I'm not really going to spend too much energy on it, but we did also get the Hierophant. So the Hierophant, I don't ever read the card. I do take it as a teaching moment or opportunity where you can teach something. But let me see what it says in the actual book. Okay. I don't know where it's located though. Where's the world? The world.
The world. Okay, girl.
Okay, girl. Sorry guys, I'm trying to get to it. The Hangman, Hermit. Hate when this happens. Yeah, I just passed it. So the Hierophant is conformity. Conformity isn't all bad. So the Hierophant is so here to remind you of that. Not all traditions are whack. Sometimes the old ways really are way better. Take classroom debates, for example. Even if you're unprepared for the assignment in a traditional sense, the Hierophant will still acknowledge that you put in the effort. Like your own individual way. Sorry. You're so I can't get my words. You so don't have to love his fashion to appreciate his guidance. So here's the thing. It's saying that in some form there's a lesson to be learned in maybe I'm a very non-traditional person. So the things that I do and the way in which I decide something, is usually something somebody wouldn't agree with, or they would find it to be outside of their comfortability. And so when you do that, I think sometimes it does help to hear the other side of the perspective, to know all possibilities. I think that's a very Libra thing. Is like, okay, if I decide to do this, not saying that your decision making is not on point, but just hear other perspectives as well. Maybe there's someone around you that has a different perspective, but they can teach you something, right? And that's okay. Even if it's not something you would normally choose, there's a lesson to be learned in it. All right. So I think I kind of see that with Logan as well. He was very traditional, very structured in his approach to things, but he definitely fine-tuned those details in a way that helped to get the job done. So I think that's all I'm gonna spend the time on that. All right, so we have the Queen of Pentacles. I love that this card came out. Why? Because when we were on our way into getting settled in, once for our check-in this morning or this afternoon, our Uber driver asked if I grew up here. And I didn't grow up here. I used to spend every summer and breaks here because my aunt owned a jewelry store in the Bronx for 15 plus years before she passed in 2018 from cancer. I met my now wife that same year. And it was a history with that, but it's a lesson to be learned in how things are channeled over time. And I see this as a provision of that person orchestrating the timeline. And whomever that representation is for you in your life, is looking over you at this time. And it's an observation of being proud. The way in which she's looking down, that's Cher's mom. She's being proud. You have the Three of Swords. This came out. This has to do with you experience some level of grief or loss in some sense. And it's interesting that came out after the Queen of Pentacles, because I'm here in New York. And so in pain comes purpose, right? And that me and Aaron have really been talking about that. Is like, it's a necessary step to where you're going. So maybe a loss is, there is loss in your journey in order to get to the other side. Even when I started out this read, I talked about last year, we were in a place where it was a painful place. It was something that we, didn't know how and what to expect from the process. But on the other side, we're now on the other side 1 year later, and life is so different from what it was the previous year. So that's an opportunity to be thankful and give gratitude. So that's how I connect those two. The next thing to come up is the Empress card. You're in an energy where you're feeling very confident at this time. You're making a lot of impact at this time as well. a lot of impact as it pertains to your finances, the King of Pentacles. You're also in the Two of Pentacles energy that is equally balanced. We have the Queen of Cups coming forward. This is somebody, a female in your life, that is rooting for you. You also have some energy to pay attention to, the Devil card. This has to do with, energy that might be conflicting as it pertains to maybe friendship. So be aware of the energies that are represented by that aspect. Just being aware. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Last thing is a Temperance card. So the Temperance card is like, y'all know how I feel about this. It gives, I don't give a, I'm doing what I have to do. And that is the Sag card. Never said this on this channel before, but my Venus is Sagittarius. It gives that I have Sagittarius in my chart because, it's the Venus is represented in the way that you love. Aaron is also a Venus Sagittarius. So it's giving, I'm not wrong. You said what? I've never heard that before. But how do you budge on that? Somebody has to break the ice. So I'm learning that you have to step away from your practices or your normalcy in order to gauge an opportunity for building and recognizing where you can grow, right? Where you can grow in that thought process. And it has taught me a lot because I have a very strong personality, and that's okay because it's cool to be strong, but know when to be strong, right? When to turn it off and when to turn it on. There's a time and a place for everything. So the next thing is a lot of things coming in fast at this time. That's the Nine of Swords. The Emperor came out. I always think about Erin, and she's the Emperor. I just see her as the Emperor. She's just bossy. So it's the Emperor and the Empress. I love this for the weekend. So that's a good vibe. Whatever that means for you, if it's you and a person, or if it's just you might be in the energy of your feminine and your masculine. Feminine is given, I'm feeling divine, I'm feeling myself and all the things. And then the Emperor is like, it talks about this energy, that money, okay? It's given, I'm a boss, and I'm taking calls, and I'm a boss, okay? And I'm a boss. And so that is the energy that you need to sit in, and you need to nourish that at this time so that you can get to this place, the High Priestess. And you're going to be in a place where you're cleaning house and you're making sure that everything is in its divine place so that you can excel. The last thing facing up is a Five of Cups. It's one spilled milk. And how I see that card is like, don't cry over spilled milk. Got 4 more cups here. 4 more cups. So I hope that you guys receive this read. I love you so much. Happy Valentine's Day early. I will see you tomorrow. Bye.